For a manager, how do you manage a situation where you're starting a player who doesn't want to be at the club?
It's your assumption. That is not what he is telling me.
Well, he's telling you he wants to be here.
So I deal with the players we have, and we plan with him for this season, and we are happy with him, and now we have to fit him into the team, and so he has to come to the right fitness levels so that he can do the job what we expect him to do.
And the attempt to get Marko Arnautovic, which the fans reacted badly to, was that a mistake? Do you think he would have added something here? He's 33 years old. It's smacked as a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, also an assumption, but I cannot speak about players who are under contract. And when we have news, we will bring them, like we did with Christian Eriksen, with Tero Malacia, with Lisandro Martinez. Then we will announce it.
Samuel.
Erik, you said last week that you were prepared to wait for the right player to come in. To a lot of people outside the club and a lot of fans, Arnautovic was the wrong player to come in. Has the strategy changed because we're into the last few weeks of the transfer window where you're having to make compromises with certain players that you would like to bring in?
Of course, there are developments on the transfer market, but still we have to get the players in who can contribute, and not get players in who cannot do. Then we have to do it with the squad we have, and then we have to improve the team.
From when you first spoke to the club about potentially coming over and becoming manager, do the club operate in the same way as you expected, or have you been surprised by the way the club operates in the transfer market?
What we say, we cooperate well, and it's to my satisfaction. And of course, it was better to get the players earlier in, because then you get earlier in the process. So now we are in department midfield and in offense. You have seen when one injury, we have a problem. That's clear.
And just finally, with Marcus, have you spoken to him about the PSG story?
Not yet, but he knows I love him. He knows I want him to be here. So so I will tell him that again.
James and then Jamie.
Hi, Erik. Have you ever been in this situation before where at the start of the season the squad is still so much in need of being filled, if you like?
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, I have that experience, yeah.
And you mentioned before about United fans expect to win every game. Is that a fair expectation, given the club you've taken over, the situation they were in last season, the amount of steps you need to take to get to Man City and Liverpool?
I will not say that it's always easy, but I think the Man United stands for trophies, and then that has to be the standard that everyone has to accept. We cannot live with lower standards, because then we will not get back there where we have to be.
Hi Erik, I think you were appointed about 4 months ago. I think it was sort of the last week of April, and you said since then, I think you just said it then, you want a striker and midfielder. So with less than 3 weeks left, is disaster a fair word for the fact that you don't have a striker and midfielder in terms of the transfer? What you want to do with this team, is it fair to say it's a disaster for you?
No. And of course, once again, it would be had my preference, because we could be starting the process earlier, quite clear. But in the end of the day, the season is long, and it's to get in the right players.
So the season is long, of course, but the time since you've been appointed is 4 months. It's kind of half a full season, 4 or 5 months. So there's been all this time. Why has it not happened? I mean, this is Manchester United. In your analysis, why has it not happened yet?
That is a difficult answer. And when you have over 1 hour, then I would, I could have briefed you. So, but it's really complicated. That I can tell you. But till now, what we have done, I think we are really happy with it. And I think that was the positive point from last week, that I think not only from last week, but the week before, Tero Malacia did very well. Christian Eriksen and Licha Martinez did both very well in the game against Brighton. So we are happy with that.
Paul?
Erik, you spoke warmly about Marcus a couple of minutes ago, said that you loved him. What can he achieve at this club if you get the best out of him and he performs to his best?
I think he showed already in the short time I'm here in pre-season what he can do, and also last week he was twice in the position and he could score. So the team with his also his contribution, he was in the right moment on the right place now, and I trust he will finish in the future.
How do you assess his confidence at the moment? Because last season he scored, I think it was 4 or 5 goals. Like you say, he's getting in those positions, but he's not taking his chances at the moment.
No, we're talking about one game in pre-season. He did score.
Do you think that there's a possibility he could be distracted by this? Do you think he should be really concentrating on football at this moment?
Yeah, but I know they are experienced. They know how to deal with that, and I think there often is an interest for player, for manager, and that is where we have to deal with. We have to keep focus on what is most important. The priority is the next game.
And with potential signings for United, in years gone by, every player would want to play for this club. Do you think now it's more of a case that you have to persuade them, particularly without Champions League?
I don't know how it was in the past, but once again, we we need high standards, so we have to keep the high standards. So also the profiles we want to get in.
Laurie.
Erik, it feels like you've drawn a line under the Cristiano Ronaldo situation that he's going to be staying with you. Is that correct? And does that help you, I suppose, in terms of what you need from the market?
Yes, but we already in every press conference what we confirmed, he is in our plans. So we plan with him. So we plan also around him.
And in terms of the characters that you want to bring in, the players that you want to bring in, is character one of the big sort of benefits that you want to see in the players that you want to sign? In terms of when you talk about the right players,
it's of course character is always an issue, and that have to be good and it have to fit into the team.
Last question, Chris Swift.
Yes, hi Erik. There's a perception this week, Erik, that maybe there's a degree of panic within the club in the terms of the players that you've been trying to sign. Is there any panic from your point of view from inside the club?
When Manchester United is not performing, not winning, that's normal. I would be more in panic when there wasn't a panic. Because we have to win, and that is the demand. But still, I won't say panic is not the right word. It's like more, hey, come on, we have to act.
So what would mean that you feel that something has to be done, but you're still doing it in a measured, controlled way, yeah?
Exactly. We have to think bright and to do the right things.
Okay, thanks very much.